If you want to get your property back at the end of the fixed term where the tenant hasn't done anything wrong, then you would need to serve a Section 21 notice. It's a non-fault based notice that you would serve in circumstances where you might want to move back into the property yourself, you might want to sell the property, but it's not one that you're going to serve if there's rent arrears or the property's been damaged or there's some sort of fault on behalf of the tenant. It's really important that when you serve a Section 21 notice that you ensure that you've complied with the relevant regulations. So you need to have ensured that you have served an energy performance certificate, a right to rent booklet and a gas safety certificate. If you haven't given the tenant all of the required information, then you may not be able to serve a Section 21 notice. What that means is that you may not be able to evict the tenant at the end of the fixed term, unless of course they've failed to pay the rent or there's some other fault-based ground that you can gain possession. So it's really important that all of the prescribed information is given to the tenant at the start of the tenancy. Anyone can serve a Section 21 notice, but most of the defective notices we see are served by people individually, so we would recommend that you get a solicitor to serve it so that it is correct and that we make sure that it's going to be effective. If you haven't given the prescribed information or you serve a defective notice, then you end up not being able to evict the tenants from the property. So one of the most important things that you need to do at the start of the tenancy is if you're taking a deposit from the tenant, you need to make sure that it's protected and that it's protected in one of the tenancy deposit schemes. If you haven't protected the deposit, there are sanctions for non-protection of a deposit, but it also affects your ability to be able to serve a Section 21 notice. If you haven't protected the deposit, then you're not going to be able to serve your Section 21 notice, and you could end up with your tenants being in the property indefinitely.